I'm your Huckleberry. I'm your Huckleberry. You all know the expression from Tombstone.
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your Huckleberry.
And believe it or not, you know that we're all saying it wrong. It's actually not your Huckleberry. I'll be your Hucklebearer. I'll be your Hucklebearer. Lester, Lester, Lester. I can see she's shaking her head. Never have I ever gotten so involved in a Facebook/YouTube channel that I've gone this far. Uh-oh. Super fan. Super fan. Everyone has a role. At your households, think about your homes. You have to have a role. You would not want your husband coming in there and trying to take over your role. Think about how many more videos I could make if Carl wasn't always around. And as far as as you call the Karens, guys, listen to me. I don't know how to say this the right way. There was a time when I loved reading comments. That was the whole thrill of making a video. But stop bashing my children. Stop bashing my children. Hey folks, Lester here, and I'll be your Hucklebearer. You heard me right. Not your Huckleberry. I'll be your Hucklebearer. You all remember the movie Tombstone, where Doc Holliday was about to kill somebody. It was an old Western. It was a gunfight, man. He goes, I'll be your Huckleberry. What he really said, though, was I'll be your Hucklebearer. And a lot of folks got that expression wrong, and they've been saying for a long time, I'll be your Huckleberry. Anyway, a Hucklebearer, picture a casket, and the guys that hold the little clasp there, the little handles on the casket. So those were referred to as huckles. And so in the old days, a pallbearer was referred to as a hucklebearer. I'll be your hucklebearer. Which in a country, old Western type thing, no one is even, guys, over here, focus over here. I'm the one talking, forget that. Carl, you're really throwing my game off here. Anyway, I'll be your Hucklebearer. Not Huckleberry, but it's really funny. So today I am Lester, and I'll be your Hucklebearer as we go through some gifts and goodies. Jamie made me back up and reenact what we just pulled home to.
That's such.
So we just dropped off Lex to his mama, and we're coming in the driveway. Beautiful day. And we see these boxes and packages. Oh, awesome. And Jamie goes, look, there's a Nike box. And I pull up, and I kind of like look, and right there on the side, can y'all read that? It's not shoes, Lester. That's funny. Okay.
Well, I was trying to rack my brain thinking I didn't order Lex shoes, and it's a small box.
That's a small box. I wear a size 12, by the way.
Oh, God, Lester.
Please, guys, don't send me any shoes. I do not need shoes. Anyway, I'm not getting those now. That's Ellie's job, and Ellie does work here. Y'all don't see a whole lot because he's only here on the weekends. I am about to show you the hardest job on this entire farm. You have to give me about 30 seconds. All right, so Fridays is our biggest delivery day of the week. And so this is Ellie's biggest job of the week. He's here almost every Friday. Hey, you're here every Friday. Hey, real fast, hold on, before we start lifting. How many boxes have you already taken to the house?
Like 6, 8, 10, something like that.
So what we do is we use the tractor buckets because that's the easiest way. Now I'm sitting here on the side-by-side, and look at that. I got a back end full of really neat gifts and goodies that I'm going to open up, and we're going to do this together. I first of all want to say thank you to Lena Shea. Now you guys know that Lena Shea has supported this page for a while now. She's over in Nova Scotia, Canada, and she also runs the page, I think it's called Sanctuary Tales. Tales as in T-A-I-L-S. Now that's not one of our pages, but Lena does support the sanctuary by trying to bring a lot of folks together in a fan page, if you will. So I'll put that her little page up here, Huckleberry Tales, Sanctuary Tales, and it's a kind of a place where a lot of folks kind of meet and greet and talk about happenings here on the sanctuary. and other things. So thank you, Miss Shay, Lena. I don't know exactly how you pronounce that, but such a kind lady. And she sent a shirt for me, for Ellie, my dad, Jamie, Lex. Can you go a little bit faster with this?
Not really.
Peekaboo. All right, stand up so I can look at you. Look at that baby over there. Look at that baby over the side, Pawpaw. That's ridiculous right there. That looks ridiculous, those two. That's ridiculous. Look, she's watching. Turn around. That looks great.
Oh, I like that.
That's Nova Scotia. You have no idea where Canada's at? Don't y'all learn about Canada in school?
Thank you, Lana Shay.
Is it Lana or Lena?
I don't know.
How would y'all say it?
L-A-N-A?
Yeah?
Probably
There's two
Lana.
ways to
Lana.
Say it. There's two ways to say it.
All right, and read the name on that right there.
Thank you, Benny.
I think it's Benny. Is there anything inside there, like something else, like a card or anything? Just make sure before we stop the video. Nothing else?
Nothing in there.
All right, thank you guys. Anyway, the whole family got one, so thank you very much for that. And that's what I chose to wear today. It's a beautiful October morning, and we're out and about early today. Jake will actually let me know there's something going on in the pastures. He came out this morning to get started on his chores, and he saw a coyote. Now, it wasn't here in our pastures, thank God. And Carl, of course, was marching the fence line, so all our babies knew he was out there. Jake run him off. But that means we're going to probably have to start being proactive here and finding ways to deter these guys before they start coming up. You know, we have lost a number of animals in the past to predators. And even though I don't think anyone's going to jack with us anymore, at least I hope not, we're going to have to take care of that. So this very first box, I can't, look at that. Lester, it's not shoes. You're all saying, why would someone send Lester a pair of Nikes? Guys, it says right there it's not shoes. So we're going to open it. I sometimes wonder, whoa, hold on. This is funny. Okay, so they put all kinds of little notes on here. It says first place goes to Lester and Carl. Look, Carl, it's for us. Look, we got a trophy. Look at this. You're the champion, Carl. You're the champ. Carl's a champ, guys. Oh, I look horrible. Do not look. I hope y'all didn't see what I was wearing. That is probably the most embarrassing look I have probably done on video. I don't always care about what I look like around the farm. I don't know who sent it. Let me read that name real fast. It's from Kathy. Oh, and it's also from Canada. Kathy, thank you very much. And thank you for loving Carl. Carl, I'm not going to focus on Carl right now, but I'm going to tell y'all something. He might be the best thing that has ever happened to this sanctuary as far as the health, safety of these babies is concerned. You're not gonna believe that until you give it some time. But I've noticed that we haven't had near the issues since we've gotten that guy as what we did before. All right, so this is a nice heavy box, and I'm afraid it doesn't have a gift card or a gift receipt with it. It comes from Chewy. It's a lot of goat snacks. It's all kinds of goat snacks. And darn it. Oh, it says it right here. Nicole in Tennessee. It says to I'm a Survivor babies from Nicole in Tennessee. So Nicole, thank you very much. And I think that what we're going to do right now is go ahead and feed Carl a few snacks in his new trophy. I bet Carl would really appreciate that. Hi, babies. Here comes all the littles out behind me. Can y'all see them running that? They must have heard me opening the package. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go feed Carl out of his trophy. Here, Carl. I'm going to just take the phone with me, because I don't think y'all can see from way over there. Here we go. And I do not want y'all watching me, looking at me in my boots and shorts. Carl loves it. And it says you're number one too, Carl. Number one. And here's all the other babies. Let them have a little bit to share. They like to share snacks. There we go. Yeah, Carl, you're number one. He goes, you did not ask permission to feed them babies. No one feeds my babies without my permission. I'm gonna take some of those snacks, Nicole, and pour them over the fence. Give me one moment, everybody. Oh, look, Brady's back. Boy, Brady had an ordeal. Brady had an ordeal. And I feel so bad for him. That big, you know how we always call Moo our big galoot of the cows? Well, Brady is our big galoot of all of the fur babies here in the Littles pasture. Oh no. Look at this. I got a Carl shirt. Look, Carl, it has rainbows. Carl is in kind of a rainbow look right there. I'll be your huckleberry. I bet y'all didn't know that, did you? You've always probably told your husbands or your wives or your kids, I'll be your huckleberry. You didn't know it was that huckleberry. Neither did I. Neither did I until, look at that, man. That's good. That's real good. That looks good, Carl. That looks really good, Carl. Can y'all see okay? I want y'all to make sure you can see the babies back there. I like that. Thank you very much. This is a good shirt. I'll wear this a lot. I sometimes wonder when I go somewhere to eat what people say about me, because I always have an animal shirt of some sort. If they don't know who you are, they probably see me as some kind of crazy animal guy or something. I am, that's me, the crazy animal guy. Now there was no name on that, but it did say to Lester's Lot. To Lester's Lot. And here we got something from Tammy, all the way in Wichita Falls. Now that's in Texas. Sometimes you mistake Niagara Falls with Wichita Falls, but Wichita Falls is in Texas, up north. All right, so it says, there's a sign that says Critter Crossing. That's hard to say. Oh, I love this. Best family in the history of ever. Boy, you give this family a little bit too much credit. I'll tell you what, this is a good family as far as families go. Everybody comes together when we have to. I say that in jest. I kid. Where's my glasses? Here we go. Dear, I may not even need them though. This is awesome. My eyesight has improved quite a bit since I've got the testosterone. Dear Lester, Jamie, Ellie, Xander, Lex, and all the extended family and fur babies, please don't read this on video. I'm glad you put that at the beginning. That will save me a whole lot of editing. But looky there. Please do not read this on video. You saw my dirty hands. Hey, it's farm life. And so what I will do is take this with me when I go inside. And you already know how I like to do. But I'll find me a quiet place and I'll read this a little bit later. So thank you very much, Tammy, for the signs, and I can't wait to read this. And thank you for sharing your story with me. It's very therapeutic to share stories. I'm putting all this in a safe place so it doesn't get lost or thrown out with the recycling stuff. Okie dokie. Over here, this comes to Lester and Jamie from Angie, and she's also in Texas, in Plano, Texas. Hey, I'll tell y'all something that was scary. We Jamie is really good about the analytics on the page, and so she keeps up with the analytics. They give us a little stat counter every afternoon we can look at to tell you how the page is doing, the growth, the stuff. And I've been kind of worried here, and I'm going to say this, and don't take offense to it, but you better understand what I'm saying, because I'm doing it for our protection and for yours. Normally, we look at our stats from the day, and it shows you how many new followers you have from, and you can break it down by countries, by states. And so we noticed that we have the usual amount from the United States. And so that's normally the most followers in a given day from the United States. And then it breaks it down on other countries. And so you always have some Australians who find the page and choose to follow. You always have some from the UK. And then you'll all sometimes have some that you're not really, Germany, Mexico, quite a few. But scary thing is today, I noticed that we had lots from Kenya, Nigeria, Ethiopia. Now, let me just, this is where I need to pause and think really carefully about what I'm about to say. I just don't understand, and I can't really believe that folks from Kenya, Nigeria, and Ethiopia are finding I'm a Survivor Sanctuary and flocking to the page enough so to where it actually has a significant amount. And so what that worries me about is potential scam and hackers. Man, oh, Lester, I can't believe you just went there. Listen, I'm so sorry you're going to take it as a negative, like me being, you know, insensitive to different cultures or races or ethnicities or whatever. And it's not that at all, but it's kind of a red flag because we don't normally attract folks from those countries. It's the first time that we've seen that cluster of countries pop up. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia. And so don't get me wrong. And man, there's not really a nice way to say this. But what I'm going to do is go back through so this is personal experience. And so all that we feel in life is normally based on personal experience. And wow, how do I say this the nice way? Just be aware, just be cautious on your Facebook pages, and don't accept a friend's request from anyone that you do not know. I'll say that again, and I'll just summarize it right here. Be very careful on your YouTube pages, your Facebook pages, and do not accept a friend's request from anyone that you do not know. Because once somebody who has bad intentions gets into a page like ours and they look for vulnerable folks, man, I hate to say this if it hurts your feelings, but they look for people who are vulnerable. And they can see your name, they click on your name, and they friend request you or send you a message. And they may sound like a really nice guy or your prince in shining armor who just loves your smile. Or guys, be very careful, be very alert, because I'm not sure why we would have an influx of certain countries. Somalia, guys, I can't remember them all, but it was lots of the African countries and just a huge amount, which happened all of a sudden and out of nowhere. There haven't been any viral videos out lately. There's been nothing that people would have shared that would have had a global reach. We've had a few videos that have had a global reach and have been viral, but we have had nothing as of recent. So I'm a little bit baffled why those countries would have this huge. So just be aware, okay? Hello, Lester and Jamie. I hope and pray that all is well with the family and all the babies. I recently came across all the different pages and I'm hooked. Wow, I love hearing that. And she said all the pages. That means Jamie's, Ellie's, Jake's, my dad's. I've been watching for the past couple of months, and I talked to my employees and my husband about everyone and the babies like they're family. Well, guess what? They are families. Da-da! You have just adopted a whole lot of babies here. And I like that. I love the fact that we talk about being family. I seen these little goodies and thought about y'all. Thanks for allowing us into your lives and for sharing all the babies with the world. Y'all are truly a blessing. Love, Angie. Now look at the bottom. Now you're not going to believe it. If I just said this, you wouldn't believe me. Dan's going to be upset about this. He knows it's coming. I don't really have a favorite, but Carl is pretty dang cool and interesting. Now, she didn't even say dang. She said another word, but I'm not going to say it. And so what she sent, this is some kid. She sent some animal air fresheners for your car. Look at that. Those are cute. And I don't know if they're all, yeah, those are all cows and those are pigs. And that's really, really sweet. And she also sent this little wood sign. I'll love you till the cows come home. And that's beautiful. Angie, it's a pleasure. It is a real pleasure making your acquaintance, along with the other folks who we've had the blessing of, who've allowed us into their homes, into your phones, if you will. And so thank you so much for that. And we listen, we hoped that we can continue to bring you a smile and bring you joy and laughter and an occasional tear. I know that you've already learned this, Angie, and you other folks, that you don't really watch this page to learn new things. I think that there's a little bit of education that goes on the page. I know that you can learn some things from the page, but we don't claim to be good at this. We are learning our way through it. Let me just remind you, Angie and other folks, because I know that you're new to the page, so you may not know this, but I've always been and I'm going to put air quotes, this is an expression, a hobby farmer. So I've always, like my dad before me, we've always had a couple of cows, a couple of horses, a couple of goats, a couple of donkeys to help maintain our pastures. If you don't have animals to help maintain your pastures, then the weeds will grow up and take over your grasses. And that not, your grass can grow and take over any trees that you want to grow. And so ultimately you need animals to help maintain those pastures. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself out on your tractor or your lawnmower, and there's 500 acres here. And so it would be impossible for us to maintain that land. So what we've always done, and this is my entire family here, we've never farmed as far as raising our own food to eat, raising our animals to eat. We've never done that. We've always had animals as hobbies. All right, so whereas a lot of folks have like cats and dogs, maybe a goldfish, we have cows and horses and donkeys, and those are our pets. Along with some cats and dogs, sure. But these are our pets. Carl's come back. So thank you so very much. And just know that we were pretty good with just raising the animals as hobbies. But even then we made a lot of mistakes. Now that we're doing it kind of on the public scale with the social media, there's a whole lot more scrutiny. There's a whole lot more people looking at it, you know, with a magnifying glass and pointing out a lot of things that you're doing wrong. And that's fine, but it is kind of the way that we do it. It's the way we've been doing it for, you know, a long, long time. And so that's what we're going to keep doing it, the way that we know to do it. We will learn along the way. And I have learned so much. All right, to Lester. Now I can see right now, I opened this up. WTF, Carl. Now I know what that means. I hate that's what y'all remember. That has not become a Lesterism. We will not let that become a Lesterism. But that was a horrible moment that I had to do that with Carl. You've all seen Jake and his little tussle with Carl.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Carl does not want to hurt any of us, y'all. I tell you what Carl wants to do, though. He wants to protect those babies. And man, in saying that, and once we realize that, there's nothing that we can do. There's nothing we will do to prevent him from doing what he feels is his instinctual, his God-given purpose in life. And right now, his purpose in life is to protect these babies. And we're going to let him do that. This comes from Lori. Lester, Lester, Lester. I can see she's shaking her head. Never have I ever gotten so involved in a Facebook/YouTube channel that I've gone this far. Uh-oh. Super fan, super fan. But we don't call you fan, so can it be super fam? Super fam. Fam? Family fam? Okay, here we go. I totally respect that you keep your channel clean. We've had our moments. You know, I am a man, and I can curse like a sailor. Back in the old days, though, you know, these days I don't really have to curse a whole lot. I just laugh. I totally respect that you keep your channel clean. Watching you go from a frantic, frightened cuss fest and slowly evolve back to, what the heck, Carl, made me laugh so hard. I recorded from the TV to my phone so I could watch it again and again and again, so I wouldn't have to go search for it. The only time I laughed even harder was watching Rick's video on the subject. Yeah, there have been some moments, guys, that have caught me off guard. Being attacked and bitten by Ivy, that was scary. And I tell you what, I don't know how I kept it clean. I don't know how I kept it clean. The day that I was attacked by Carl and had to fight him off, it was bad at first because it was such a surprise and a shocker. But I finally, even in that moment, evolved into cleaning it up a little bit. And that's what she's referring to right over here. There have been moments. I do apologize to the kids who watch the channel, and to the older folks who just have never had a, thank y'all for forgiving me. Because seriously, I have made so many mistakes with my language and with things that I've done around here and decisions I've made. But you live and you learn. My entire life has been one shit show after another, so I fully enjoy seeing someone else's. Well, thank you. I adore your family. I use the acronym for your hilarious moment, but I still feel like you may have concerns about wearing the shirt in public. Nah, I'll wear it. I'll wear it. And if anything, if someone asks me about it, I can refer them back to the video. That was a pretty popular video. I still feel like you may have concerns about wearing the shirt in public. If that's the case, you have my full permission to re-gift it to Rick. Because my friend Rick doesn't care. Rick doesn't care what you say or what you think or how you feel. I know he wouldn't have an issue. LOL. Lori Dean, she's a former Texas girl from Beaumont. Lori looks like she lives in Tennessee now. Thank you very much. I love the letter. I love the fact that you are forgiving and accepting, even with the flaws, because there's a lot of them. A lot of folks, oh, we got flight school coming in. You guys have to bear with us for just a second. Let me flip the camera so you can kind of see what's going on with the babies here. We got flight school coming through. Look at Aunt Lydia leading the way. Can y'all remember when Aunt Lydia was just a quiet little goose that followed everybody else? It was not the leader. And at some point, she has projected herself to say, you know what? I'm done with following. Today, I'm going to lead. And she's taken over. And now she leads every female goose and the males. She leads them all. The same way Carl leads all the littles. They're his flock. As Aunt Lydia leads all the ducks and the geese. That's her flock. And isn't it great to have people in your world who can do that? There's nothing better than a good, strong leader, y'all. Think about in history, the leaders who have been able to motivate people to do things for the greater good. Think of Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc. If that's not just one story of... Let's stay focused. But what I'm saying is we love leadership. And I wish that we could all respect the animals for the gifts that they bring to this farm. Instead of, oh boy, here he goes. Instead of hating the animals because of our own selfishness. I don't get to see enough of this animal anymore. And I don't get to see this animal. You need to move. I didn't say any names. I'm not going to say any names, but I will say this. When you run the sanctuary, you have to understand that everyone has a role. At your households, think about your homes. You have to have a role. You would not want your husband coming in there and trying to take over your role. You would not want your wives to come in and start taking over your role. You don't want that. We need to have a purpose in life. And I think that we all can kind of gain, if you will, you can kind of like quantify your life if you can fulfill your purpose on any given day. And so we will never, ever be selfish enough for our own personal gain or our own personal... Think about how many more videos I could make if Carl wasn't always around. Think about how easy my life would be if I could just move Carl out to the back pasture. Think about me never having to look over my shoulder ever again if I just got rid of Carl by calling the zoo. Shame on me for thinking about me first and not thinking about these babies or Carl. Call the zoo. Give him to a zoo. Carl is living his best life. And with all of these babies, here's what I always do. I always go back and I think about their life before they came here and their life now. And whereas it may not be perfect, yes, I agree. The perfect scenario for Carl would probably be to be out on some great plain or the savannah, you know, or some huge open grassy spot where there's a big body of water and there's a creek where fish swim along. He can pick them out of the water. Oh, and there's going to be a lot of girls. Man, there's going to be a lot of girls. Where are you going to give that to Carl at, though? Where's Carl going to get that? So instead, we take Carl out of a place where he's being bullied and picked on and literally having his feathers plucked from his chest, from his behind, from under his wings, and he's shamed on a daily basis in his little world by having to walk around that way because the other macho guy wants the girl for himself. So we took Carl out of that situation and we brought him here. Not sure how it was going to work out. And if you remember, if you've been following along enough, you know the steps that we took, the process that we took to slowly find out where he wanted to be. We made that move. We've watched how he has evolved into his role. And even though we've had to adjust ourselves a little bit and how we manage the fields and the pastures, working around Carl, guess what? We've given Carl his best life. And in his best life, a lot better than he's going to have in any zoo. Folks, please. And he's not going to be hunted by someone who wants to use his skin for a wallet or a purse or boots or a belt, or his feathers for whatever they do feathers with, for pillows and for everything else. And he's not going to have his meat chopped up and eaten in some delicacy restaurant. No, he's not doing that. He's going to stay right here, and he serves these babies. He protects these babies. And you know what? I'll work around them. And it's not that hard, knowing that at night and that day and throughout 24/7, he's watching these babies. He's watching everything that goes on around here. Why do I keep getting off on a rant about Carl? Oh, it's because of things like this. Here we go. Whew. So I opened a gift here this is from Kathy, and she's in British Columbia. And it has a couple of self-retracting box cutters, along with a whole bunch of blades. Now she must know that I go through a lot of box cutters, and those that I still have are pretty darn rusty. And so she got some nice pretty ones here. Thank you for that, Miss Kathy. And now I'm going to read you her letter. Hello, Lester, Jamie, and family, all the bigs and littles included. First of all, I know a typed letter is very impersonal, but my handwriting is worse. I can't even read it. And larger print means Lester doesn't need his glasses. Well, thank you. That is true, even though my eyes are getting better. The main thing is, this letter comes from the heart. And that is so true, guys. I mean, who does this anymore? Most of us can't even take time to call anybody. Instead, quick text. Seriously, think about that for a minute. And she's not only doing that, she's actually writing a letter. The main thing that comes from the heart. I have pondered for many months on whether or not to actually write to you and send you my special gift with your safety and peace of mind. I watch your videos regularly, and I'm amused at most of the goings-on around the farm. I hope you can find a time to laugh, guys. Listen, you have to find time to laugh. You have to find time to laugh. I know that working on a farm is not always safe, because you are, after all, working with animals, and they can be very unpredictable. With that being said, Lester, there is one thing that is predictable and preventable. You, sir, one day will probably cut your finger or another body part with your cutting blades. I watch your gift and goodies, and you make me nervous. Okay, Mom. You tend to not retract the blade after you open a box, and you're flailing hands while the blade is still in the cutting position. Did you even know that? No, I did not know that. I'm not pointing out the negative. I'm just trying to be, it's just a safety feature. Maybe it's the mother/grandmother in me, but it does scare me that you could do some serious injury to yourself or those babies that mill around you while you're doing your episodes. My best interests are at heart. That is kind. Here we go. So this hopefully will help you stay a little bit safer while doing your gifts and goodies and anything else around the farm that needs to be cut open. Please take it as it was intended. As I always tell my grandchildren, safety first, because caring is sharing. Keep up the great work and don't let the Karens of the world get to you. They have their own demons to deal with and think that dumping them on other people helps. They're so wrong, and they're not your problem. With great respect, Kathy from Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. P.S. I had done some Google searching in your area for replacement blades. I think you might have to order them from Amazon, but they are reasonably priced. Listen, that's very kind of you, Kathy. And no offense. I appreciate you looking out for me and my safety. And I know that I imagine that your kids and your grandkids are equally blessed to have you, and with your caring and compassionate side and with their safety in mind. So thank you so much for that. And as far as the, as you call, the Karens, guys, listen to me. I don't know how to say this the right way. There was a time when I loved reading comments. That was the whole thrill of making a video, was reading your reactions to it. The whole thrill of sharing the lifestyle was seeing your reactions and seeing your stories. And when you find an anecdotal story that kind of parallels to what's going on over here, and you reminisce about a time in your life, I loved those days. I loved those days. But now it's kind of like, remember the old commercial? Less filling. Tastes great. Less filling. Tastes great. There was a commercial about some beer. And I think it was frogs who would always banter back and forth. Less filling. Tastes great. Oh my gosh. I hate that the pages become that way, where Carl's good or Carl is bad. And I'm just saying, putting it kindly. I'm saying it nice. Let me say this, and I'm just going to say it, okay? Carl is one of my children. Carl is one of my children. There's no way I would ever allow anyone into my home if they're going to constantly bash one of my children. You know, I can have my feelings about something that L.E. does. I can say what I want to say to get it off my chest about L.E., but don't you say it. I can be upset with Lex, and I can go and I can rant and rave, and Lex, you know this, but don't you say it. And it's the same way you'd feel. You would never invite me into your home if I go into your house and I'm constantly bashing one of your kids. And so you take these babies, and there's a bunch of them, and they each have their own flaws. And we may not like this about Ringo or this about Tex, but stop bashing my children. Stop bashing my children. That was mean right there. For no reason, Copper ran Pig Newton away from his spot. He was rooting there, and Copper wanted to root there. It's animal behavior. It's also human behavior. Stop bashing my children, okay? And we'll have no problems. If you don't agree with something, okay, fine. If you want to find a way to politely say something, then all the power to you. We are all entitled to our opinions. But don't continually bash my children. Don't bash my children and try to incite others to join you in your fight to bash my children. Because we don't do that. We don't do that. And, oh, this is going to be mean. Oh, it's going to be mean. This page is my home. The page is my home. And whereas I would not let you come into my physical home and bash my children, I'm not going to allow you to come into my my other family's home, my social media family, and bash my children. And no one's going to allow you that anymore. So stop bashing my children. I know my kids have flaws, as do I, as do you. And I love you and I accept you for the way that you are. But I might have to sometimes put you in timeout, if you will, to try to curb your behavior. That sounds horrible. That just sounds horrible. Let's get on with the gift and goodies. Uh-oh. This comes to Miss Trudy, Little Newt, and Princess Lola. Well, here's Copper right here staring at me. And I believe that Copper's a little bit upset that this did not come to him. But you know what? If it's... you know what? I don't think you're going to care if I use it on Copper. I mean, he is the one right here by the fence. Look, these are little back scratchers. Oh, and does Copper ever love a good back scratching? Hey, this comes from... Oh, no, there's no... Oh, there is. I get to read a name. Come out of there. Here it is. Dun, 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 dun. You can always stash these all over the farm, so one is always handy for those wonderful belly scratches. Give them baby some kisses from me, from Landy. Landy, watch this. You know what? Oh, I'm going to get to love Sissy, too. Hold on, everybody. We're going for a little walk. Copper. Oh, boy. Copper's getting some scratches on the belly. Can y'all see this? I really can't see what I'm videoing because the camera's turned backwards to me. It's not in selfie mode. All right, Copper. Now, Sissy, want some scratchies? Come here. Can y'all, I hope y'all can see that. I can't see what I'm videoing. Sissy, I'm trying to scratch you by the horns, baby. I hope y'all can see that. Look, Sissy, you like the scratchies. Oh, boy, she does. She says, that's a really good scratcher, Daddy. It's a great scratching tool, Daddy. I know, Sissy, it's so good. There's Pig Trudy. Trudy, come on, Trudy. Can y'all see Trudy? We got a few more gifts to go, guys. A few more. There we go. There we go. Getting close to the end, my friends. Getting close to the end. Landy, those are great. And there's a lot of them. And like you said, I can stash these all around the farm and pull one out whenever I need to for a nice little belly scratching. So thank you so much. Oh, God. That actually does feel really good. Thank you. I'm going to put one here in my pocket. All right, guys, I'm counting 4 more. I'm counting 4 more, and we'll be done with this here episode. Now, where'd that box cutter go? I knew I had a box cutter. I had a box cutter right here. All right. Oh, this here says to Lester's lot. This is the second package that says to Lester's lot. Now, I don't know if it's from the same individual. I'm guessing it is because it says Lester's lot. And this might be the name that I've been looking for. Okay. Louise Baxter. From a loving admirer in England. England. Guys, how in the world, this always surprises me when somebody all the way across the big pond discovers our little rinky-dink farm here in the middle of nowhere, Texas. Plum Grove. From England to Plum Grove. All right. This is cute. Now, this over here is a charm. And it says, don't make me use my personal trainer voice. Wow. How powerful is that? Now, if you don't know this, Jamie is actually using a personal trainer right now to help get her into better shape. I am doing nothing but cardio, trying to lose, and with doctor's orders, you all know that part of my story. And I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight. So Jamie talks all the time about how her trainer pushes her and pushes her. But here's the thing. As much as that trainer shouts and hollers to do this and do this, Jamie says that it actually, after she's done, she realizes that she's done things she never thought she could do if it weren't for that trainer who pushes her. And so that reminds me of a drill sergeant there in the, in the Marine Corps or other branches of the military. You have these drill sergeants who you might hate at the time. But I'll tell you what, over time, you learn things about yourself that you never knew you had in you. And before you know it, you're doing things you never thought you could do. And at some point, you would run yourself through a brick wall if that guy tells you can do it. Now we gotta have a little issue here. We have a little issue. Guys, this had already gotten opened in the mail, and they had set it there at our driveway. Look at this. Now this is kind of funny, even though it's not funny. This should not be funny at all. This is obviously some kind of protective gear that I believe is intended to keep us safer when working around Carl. So this is something that someone sent so that Carl wouldn't accidentally gut us, okay? Look at this. So just so you know, I'm just gonna say this. If Carl has never, ever, 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 ever kicked, ever, he has gone up and kind of chest bumped us. You know how sometimes middle school kids will chest bump each other. He has done a little chest bump several times, and that is enough to let us know he's aggravated, he doesn't want us around, and so we'll find a way to exit his pasture. If he ever did start kicking, that would not be good, because you've all seen his talons. And I've heard that the ostrich has it's a really powerful kick. So we hope that never happens. And I believe that the more we learn about Carl, the more we'll be able to avoid him ever having the need to kick at us. All right, so this next two boxes, this one here also comes to Lester's lot, which it might be from that same lady, Louise, in England. Here it says it. Louise Baxter, right there. Enjoy your gift. And this bag is full of all kinds of little horse and donkey treats. There is some pig skin and coat. I guess this formula here goes in with their feed, and it helps them have a cleaner, nicer coat. And there's a really big bag of goat treats. So all of the babies are going to benefit from these peppermint nuggets. And this is very kind of you, Louise. You've really gone out of your way, Louise, and I hope this doesn't cost you too much. I hate when people spend so much money on these babies. They're very well taken care of, and they're so loved. All right, this here, I did not read who it's from. There's a gift receipt inside of it. Now, these over here are those apple nuggets. And you've all seen the horses also love these. This here says, okay, a gift for you. Enjoy your gift. Sent most of your wish list on the order, but saw nothing for the horses, donkeys, and Tex or his family, treat-wise. So I sent these too. I love you guys and love those babies, from Beverly Davis. Beverly, that was kind of you. Think about that for a minute. I don't know exactly what Jamie has on the wish list. I don't think it's a whole lot. But what Beverly did was says, wait a minute, I don't see anything for the horses. And there's nothing for Tex and his family. So she went out of her way to find something and sent it so that Tex and his family could have something. And that's very kind. Now, I do have, thank you very much, everybody. Seriously, there is one more box. And it comes from Karen Menard. And so I'm going to open it up here. Oh my goodness, guys, look at this. Ugh. Now I don't need to open this over here up. I can tell you what it is. This is a huge solar paneled light. A light. And so what we're going to do with this, I'm going to tell you right now, we already have plans for some lighting. And I know exactly where I'm going to put it. Can y'all see the back of the Littles barn right over I'm pointing at the back of it there. The back of the Littles barn. So this back side has no lighting at all. And you see where the rolls of hay are at over here? What I'm going to do is put a light out there on the back side of that barn and let it shine across the whole back pasture there, which can hopefully deter any predators that might come up. We're getting to that time of year where animals begin to find less and less food. Out in nature, you know, the fall and the winter, food is not as plentiful. And so the larger game that hunts for squirrels and those kind of things, those animals hibernate, or they lay up for the winter. And so they have a hard time hunting. And so they begin to get desperate at some point, and they can hear chickens, they can smell, they hear the little goats, and they do make their way over. I will say this, as kind of a prelude, you know that what we started last year was catching these animals out on the far side of the pasture. We would catch these animals way over there and relocate them somewhere far away to prevent them from coming over here closer to us. Because we did lose Manny last year to a predator, and that's horrible. It was horrible what happened to poor Manny. And so it really makes us be very proactive. And so we will use more lighting, and we're also going to begin setting our box traps out far away to try to catch these guys and girl creatures before they make their way over here. Well, listen, that's all I have today. I am impressed. No one sent anything to get me all weird, which is awesome. Even though I think some of y'all love seeing that side of me, I'm embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. But thank you for accepting me and loving me with all of my flaws. Thank you for putting up with my children, even with all of their flaws. These babies are living their best lives, and that's all because of you. I would say this was a very successful gift and goodie, and I can go home without having to tell Jamie how embarrassed I am for crying. Thank you all very much. And I'll let Carl and Copper here send us off. And they have nothing to say. They have nothing to say. Thank you, guys. So we have a letter here. All right, so I need 2 hands for this. So there's a little sock that I pulled out first. And the letter, so it's gotten a little bit wet. That's the problem here. Here we go. What this is. It comes from Lily White Wanker. Wait, is this a joke? Is this a joke? Y'all move. I'm trying to make a video here. Is this a joke? Lily White Wanker? And has a little sock. Ouch. That hurt me.